guys. Welcome back. This is By the Book, and we are your married relationship coaches. I'm Scent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 9, The Afterparty.
Yeah.
On this episode, guys, we saw Stacia, Justin, and the podcaster Sarah Colonna. Never really heard her podcast or anything, so I'll just take it that she's really great and what she does to get on the after party, right?
She has to be, right? Okay.
So the episode opens up lighthearted like usual, with Justin making some goofy joke about red flags looking like Six Flags.
Yeah.
And
that was pretty good though.
That wasn't good.
I think Justin could do some stand-up. He was kind of funny in this episode. You don't think so?
Stand up?
Yes,
let's not get ahead of ourselves. He made a couple of jokes that he like wrote down and tried out on people. He ain't really funny.
Yeah. Get him, man, some credit. Come on. Anyway, what else happened?
All right. So it opened up talking about Stacia and Nate, and with the scene where, I'm sorry guys, I'm looking at some notes because I can't keep it all together. Between the actual show and the after party, I get super confused. So please forgive me if I look at my little notes. They're talking about the 4 out of 10 comment, of course. Yeah. That's when she asked him how close he was to loving her, and he essentially said 4 or 5 out of 10. That 4 stuck out, and it became a thing for the rest of the episode.
It really did. A huge thing.
So Stacia said when they came back, to the studio, and Keisha Knight Pulliam asked her how she felt about it. Yeah. She said she kind of felt like the disrespect.
Yes.
Like she thought he should be much farther along than that. Yes. Of course, probably because she said that she was at 8.
She was at 8
after he said where he was. So maybe she felt like she actually loved him. Yeah. And she would have said something higher. I know when we were talking about it after the original episode, I said I would have said something lower. Yes. But maybe she did say something lower.
Yeah. Yeah, but she said that because, as Keisha was saying, I guess y'all doing some grown up things. You're doing showers together and X, Y, and Z. So, and then he comes back with a 4 because, you guys are doing things.
Yeah, we all know that sex doesn't equal love.
No, it doesn't.
But they did confirm, well, I think to the extent possible, Stacia confirmed that they had consummated the marriage. When you say so,
sound like that.
Because she asked her, like where or when is there any sexy time? Yeah. And she said, sexy time is in the apartment. Yeah. So I don't know if she just means that kind of one-sided sexy time that we talked about last week, or if she means all the way sexy time. Yeah. Let us know what y'all think. Yeah. To me, that was it.
Yeah. Well,
I think it went.
It could be still that one side because she's. If you think about it from that one side perspective, she's the one that's getting the sex. So I can kind of see it kind of like going either way, but I don't know. Maybe they did close the deal.
I think the deal has been sealed at that point.
Yeah.
I do. Because I think she would have probably been a little more pushbacky if she hadn't. She'd have been like, whoa, like, no, not that. Yeah. She didn't full on confirm it. Yeah. But I mean, I think it was close enough to say sexy time is sexy back time. At home. Okay. Yeah, that's.
I can dig it. So, but when she's talking about, hey, if they having sexy time and this man is only at a 4, then that's an issue. And so I can see where that kind of.
Well, if that's the case, she should have asked where he was before it was sexy time.
You should have, but a lot of women don't.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Well, that's what you get.
That's what, yeah.
So then they pan to another scene where she's asking him, are you okay with saying it? Are you okay with saying you love someone? And I wonder, I guess she probably asked that because he's the one who said he hasn't been in love in how many years?
Since he was in high school.
Was it? Okay.
Yes.
So, fair question, right? Like, do you even know to recognize that you're in love? And are you able to declare it to someone if you feel it? And when they came back, Keisha's asking her, that's essentially what she was saying. She was trying to get across. Like, I want to know if you feel it, can you say it?
Yeah. And, from that standpoint, I think she was really trying to look for some validation. She was by her own admission, she felt a little hurt, by that. And so she's trying to find something in there to where it could relieve some of that hurt for her, I believe, at that time.
Yeah.
And she's trying to gain some understanding and hoping that he can be a little bit more forthcoming with not only where he's at with his feelings, but be able to interpret and then explain them to her, I believe.
Yeah.
To make her feel better.
Because that's her need. She's looking for like kind of a I give, you give type of situation, and she's not feeling like she's getting that from him.
Yeah.
And also, I think very significantly in that segment, when Keisha asks her what her fears are, and she's saying, look, from my perspective, I'm providing these things.
Yes.
Right? She says, you're like, and I quote, you're coming into this great situation.
Yes.
So she's already, maybe inadvertently, elevating herself to a level that's above his.
They're not equal.
Right? You're coming into this great situation. You get to move into this house with me. You get to share my bank account.
It's a luxury.
And I make a little bit more money. Right. And so these are like luxuries to you.
Yes.
Right. That is potentially offensive, maybe. Yes. But I know you probably can break down maybe better than me why that's offensive.
Yeah.
But I do understand where she's coming from. Yeah. So if you want to spin the male perspective on that.
All right. Well, coming from, the manosphere, that a lot of men kind of like subscribe to.
Yeah.
It's when she's saying things like that, a lot of men are going to interpret that to the I don't need a man, thing coming from a lot of women these days. And that's already off-putting. And then when she's kind of like elevating herself above him because she, without question, she makes more money than him. Without question, she is financially set, financially stable. Without question, she has earned her way in this world. And so a man will hear that a lot of times and, acknowledge where she's at. And then hear that statement that she said that basically she's a come up for him,
Yeah.
And so hear that, and a man is going to automatically a lot of times going to be turned off by that type of statement.
Yeah.
So
and then to add to that, she's already kind of particular about things, so she's very have it my way, which we've talked about before.
Yeah. She pays the cost to be the boss.
Yeah, and she continues to do so. Yeah. But on the flip side of that, she's very right. First and foremost, there are men out there who will take advantage of women. There are men who we know they sleep on their woman, wife, whatever, their couches. Yeah. They'll drive them to work in the woman's car, drop her off.
There's some baby boys out there.
Yeah. So she's probably had to protect herself from that in the past too.
Yeah.
And to be fair, she is the party financially who would stand to lose in this marriage.
Okay. That's where I differ a little bit, or I give a different perspective. How about that? All right. My perspective is, all right, like he said, I'm willing to move in. I'm willing to share finances with you, blend bank accounts. And so from his perspective, he's trusting her. And that's a way of him saying that he's all in. Now, because he's trusting her, he's moving into her house and things of that sort. So if things go left for him, she can put him out.
But she can't put it. They're married, right? They're going to move into this home. It becomes their marital home. But she can't just put him out. That's not how it works. That's not how marriage works.
But I've seen a lot of men get put out, especially.
Who put him out?
The woman, the wife, especially if she already hit the house.
He couldn't come back in.
She does.
So how is she gonna put him out of his own house? That's their house together. But it's not allowed, at least not lawfully. See, I think men are not going to push it. If they get put out and they know, like, well, she is paying for this house, then they're not going to seek the legal remedy and say, hey, she's trying to unlawfully evict me from this home. Yeah. Or they're not going to pursue a divorce and then tell the judge, I've been kicked out of my house, order her to change the locks back or order her to give me a key so I can get back into the house. But these are all rights of his.
Okay, well, a lot of men must not know these rights because
I think they're too prideful to exercise.
I don't know. I've seen way too many times men clothes put out on the curb. I done seen men riding around in their cars and their backseat are full of clothes because the woman done
That's
put
because
them
they know they done some wrong. That's why it is. If they didn't do anything wrong, then they would be seeking what was legally right for them.
I don't know, man. I think my wife's a lawyer, but I think you just made up a law. So no man know this law because I've seen way too many men.
I know we got some other family law attorneys out there. Y'all know. Let them know. Tell my husband I am telling the truth. You can't just put somebody out of the marital home.
No. Well, why is it? It's happening way too often. And so, okay, wait. Does he have to get his name on the deed or something like that not to get put out?
No. I mean, even squatters have rights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so my goodness.
So y'all heard it here. Nate is a squatter. Right here on By the Book. That's it.
But that's what she's going to feel like. You know, not that he's a squatter, but that he has an opportunity to take advantage of her. Okay. And if anything goes wrong, then she's not necessarily financially protected, which is why she asked in maybe the first or second episode after they got married about a post-nup.
Yeah.
You know, so because she knows, listen, if you've got access to my bank account, I got more than you. I got a lot more than you. Mm-hmm. And she's probably got more in retirement benefits and, you know, whatever. Just anything. She probably overmatches where he is just simply because she's such a higher wage earner than he is. Mm. So the home, she's going to have to pay him out some of the equity in the home if they divorce. Yeah. After a certain period of time. Maybe not if they divorce right away. Yeah. But point being, she stands to lose financially in this situation. And so what he's seeing from his point of view as a sacrifice, to her it doesn't seem like a sacrifice at all. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry you get to move into a luxurious mansion. So I get it. I get where she's coming from. She's like, but where's the real sacrifice? Where's the sacrifice in terms of something that I want? Yeah. And she hasn't gotten it yet.
She's not getting it because she's not voicing what her needs are. And he's not interpreting them as her needs either.
No, now he just feels pressured. Yes. And that's why the disconnect. Yes. In this past episode.
Exactly. And so that's what we said in our last video when we were covering Nate and Stacia, is that she needs to feel safe. That's for most women, that's a primary need. Yeah. That's not their first need. It's to feel safe. And so when he told her that 40%, I'm itching towards the middle, you know, that interrupted her security. Yeah. And so everything else that she began to talk about and say, it was out of that insecurity. And he wasn't forthcoming enough to kind of like help her get back on a stable footing as far as her feeling secure in the relationship.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. So we moved on to talk about Justin a little bit. And
I'm sorry, y'all. Justin. Look at
They go to the scene where Justin is he says to her, I mean, it's kind of like smack in the middle of the scene, but they jump to the part where Justin is asking Alexis if she can tell him right now how much she loves him. Yeah. Because he wanted some affirmation. Yes. There. Yes. And she did not give it at all, right? Mm-mm. So she's like, no. Yes. In this moment, no. I don't feel comfortable. Yes. And obviously he felt hurt by that.
He said that he felt hurt. Yeah. But he also said, well, that's how she felt in that moment. Now, I would say that's how she's felt ever since his dog took a plug out of her dog. You know,
maybe even before. Honestly. No. I think she was caught up in the moment in the honeymoon. Yeah. With the whole, he already said he loves me and blah, blah, blah. Like, I never sensed from her, you guys let me know what you think. Yeah. I never sensed from her a real love for him. I think she loved, like, oh my God, this is like a fairy tale. Like, I just had this fairy tale wedding that someone else paid for, and my husband may not be all this great, but look at this moment. You know, like, this is so awesome. And I think it stirred her up to that point. And I think she got smacked back into reality.
Yeah, she definitely did. But you know what? I think it still happened when the dog thing, because when they got back, her confessional was how easy this was. If marriage could be is this easy for everybody, or however she stated it, it was just like, wow. If it wasn't like that ironic kick in the behind.
Yeah, like famous last words.
Yes. So, yeah.
So we moved on to talking with Sarah Colonna. She was asked what was generally like the viewer's sense, I guess, of Justin declaring that he loved her 3 days in.
Yeah.
And of course she has to say like the candy-coated response.
Well,
she did kind of give a sense that like we were all like, you know, surprised to hear it.
Yeah.
It was
he's sitting right there.
You can't. I mean, I would say it, but that's why we ain't on the show.
Yes. Justin, you suck.
So you old soft mashed potato. No, but then she kind of reeled it in, cleaned it up, and said that she genuinely believed him and, was in their corner, basically. And then Justin goes back, which my husband and I talked about a little bit after he said this. He kind of like backtracked on where he was in terms of love.
He did. He backtracked really, really quickly when he began to say, well, it wasn't a feeling. It was more of where I was in my commitment. I was all in. But when it was actually happening, that's not what he was saying.
No. And he was crying.
Yes. It was a straight
feeling
for him. Yeah,
like where are all those tears coming from?
Exactly.
Just because you're committed, that's weird.
Yeah.
It seems disingenuous.
It's very disingenuous, but this is all him trying to clean up.
Yeah, I think, because he felt like he was put too far out there.
Yes.
And then for Alexis to be where he is, it's uncomfortable for things to be that lopsided.
Yeah, well, what we witnessed in this in this episode of this week, we witnessed him trying to do some cleanup because he sees how he's presenting, and he's presenting very, very weak. And even for Justin, I don't think he wants to be known as a weak guy. And I think he kind of sees the writing on the wall, so he's already trying to rewrite history a little bit from his standpoint.
Probably so. Yeah. I mean, he said he still has hope, but again, they have to present this show as if everything's not already over, which we think it is by the time this show shoots. Mm-hmm. So he says he has hope, but it doesn't really read in his responses and in his behavior. So I'm reading this as a telltale that they said no at decision day. But that's just my theory. Yeah. So
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
He was still trying to be optimistic, but I think he knows. I mean, obviously, I think not. However they filmed this or whatever, but it's. I can't see it being nothing but over, to be honest with you.
No, it's over. So they move on, though, to talk more, because, I mean, they still got him on the set. Might as well keep digging in. To talking about him in the scene where he asked her, would she still stick around if they weren't married? And, of course, we know she said she wouldn't.
Yeah.
And Keisha asked him how that made him feel, and he said he really felt some type of way and took a step back after that. So maybe what we're going to see going forward in the show is a difference in his demeanor. I don't know if it actually happened that way.
I don't think so.
If it's not revisionist history. So I'll be curious to see. I mean, maybe he not steps up, but maybe he gains a little bit of edge after that, because he's feeling like the separation from her and he doesn't want to chase her around like a little puppy dog.
I would love to see it. Yes. Justin, yes, show that. Yeah, I would love to see him just be like, you know what, I'm in this thing, but hey, if you don't want to be with me, if you don't want to go all in anymore, then that's fine. We both can wait out the 8 weeks if that's the point. If that's what you want to do, it takes 2 to make this thing successful. It only takes 1 to make it unsuccessful, and you're doing that right now. And I don't apologize, and if you don't want to meet me, then hey.
I don't want to come down so hard on Alexis, because I do still think that she's going through the emotions, even if she's kind of emotionally separated from him right now. But maybe she can work her way back in. Possibly. I don't know. We're going to have to see a couple more episodes to see if she truly checked out, because they did ask Justin if they think that she checked out. And he said yes.
Yeah.
With no hesitation. He definitively said yes to that.
Yeah, she's checked out and waiting for the 8 weeks to be over.
Yeah. And then they also asked if he thought that Alexis was ready to be married, which he said no. He thinks that she likes the idea of being married, but she doesn't want to put in the work that it takes to be a wife. So that was interesting. I don't know exactly what he meant by that, so maybe it'll get a little bit more expanded upon in these next coming weeks. But are we sure that he knows and is willing to put in the work to be a husband?
Yeah, that's another one. But I think, let me go back to Alexis. I think from his standpoint, if she is so willing to run so early in the process, from his perspective, it can be that she's not ready to be married. But
that is his perspective, because in this episode, she did say it's good for her to be married because she can't run. So she didn't indicate that I've checked out. She's saying, like, in me being essentially stuck in this marriage, I'm here to see things that I wouldn't have otherwise stuck around to see.
Yeah.
So that's an indicator that she's not at least fully checked out.
Yeah, but 8 weeks is 8 weeks. So it's not that long to have to, grit your teeth and kind of bear it, especially as she hasn't even moved back into the apartment with him. We don't even know that. They never even said that
I'm just assuming that she had. And then that brings me to my last point, I guess, about them, at least in this segment, where Keisha asked them about fun that they had, and then they show them in this awkward dance. He says that we danced for 20 minutes.
25
to some
minutes.
Old school music from the 80s.
Yeah.
Keisha was like, ugh, and we were like, okay, fine. But yeah, and it looks so awkward and uncomfortable. And just, I was like, if they did that for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Keisha's like, I wish I was a fly on the wall. I'm like, I wish I was absolutely not anything near whatever that awkward looking dance was. It was bad.
Well,
I don't see any chemistry there.
What I was kind of wondering was, how much did Alexis have to drink? That's what I was wondering.
But it just like, man. She didn't look all lubed up. She just looked like awkward. It was strange.
Oh, when did it happen?
I'm like, is this the only scene out of y'all whole marriage that you could have shown?
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Yeah, because I'm wondering, when did it happen? Did it happen early on, or did it happen later, in the middle? What? But yeah, I think she was liquored up. Y'all tell us what y'all think.
All right. So we're going to move on to Mitchgate, Shirtgate 2022.
Okay.
They did spend a little bit of time talking about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Mitch and the shirt and the whole bit, and Justin got into kind of like saying, well, Mitch is like 41 years old. He's kind of stuck in his ways.
Yeah.
And then
Stacia basically said he just likes to be contrary to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I can kind of like see both of those explanations, to be honest with you. And then what was the
Sarah Colonna?
Sarah Colonna.
She has to be so gentle, I guess, with all these couples. So she doesn't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
In a way that we don't care.
Yeah.
If we do.
Yeah.
So she's like, I see growth in him, and he's made so much progress. And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, he's getting more and more emboldened because he has a wife who is accepting all of his BS.
Yeah. Well, see, she said that, but she also said that he had a mantrum. Yeah. So which one is it, Sarah?
I don't know. But I think Keisha will call it like she sees it. And she was not so supportive of that. Yeah. And basically said that Kristen and Mitch's relationship would be unsustainable because she's doing all of the bending and flexing. And I mean, that's what we've been saying since it started happening. Yes. It just seems like it's so one-sided. Yes. And as I said, he's getting more and more emboldened in his behavior because she's just taking it on the chin. Yes. And they all pretty much were saying, I feel sorry for Kristen, and we feel sorry for Kristen because she is all in and she's willing to do just about anything to make her marriage work. Yeah. But unfortunately, she's with someone who won't even meet her about 10% of the way. No. He gives nothing. He wants it all, the whole 100. All Mitch, all the time. Yeah. So I guess they close out with another scene with Stacia and Nate, the therapist session where she kind of talks about the wheel of feelings and how bad she felt. But I do really think that her naming all those negative emotions really, really triggered Nate in that moment. So they had that little moment. He didn't get turned up until they got back to the house. Yeah. And as everybody noticed, Stacia took it well, but she's like, well, I didn't want to turn up with him because the turn up is real. I don't know about that. I think that she's well within herself. Like, she's not going to really turn up with him. I don't see her going there with him, even though he was a little bit heated.
He was. And that's my question to you. Do you think he overstepped his line, the boundary of being offensive to her? I mean, yes, he's upset, but
I don't, because I didn't feel like he crossed the line of being disrespectful. Yeah. I think he was truly getting his point across. Mm-hmm. She might not have liked his tone, which if she wanted to, she could have addressed his tone in that moment. Yeah. And been like, I need you to speak like more calmly to me or something like that. But I don't think he went all the way over the top in terms of being disrespectful. Yeah. And I think the more heated he got, then he removed himself from that situation. Yes. He closed it out by saying, it's not me, it's a you thing. And he got up and walked away, probably because he felt himself going someplace that he didn't necessarily want to go. And I can respect that just for a moment, though.
Yeah, because we know you don't want anybody to leave.
Yeah, you can't leave the house. You better not have walked out the door. But they would have showed us that if he had left. So
y'all gotta watch a previous video to understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he stepped away so he could cool down, no, I don't find that problematic, really.
You know what? I do agree with you, because I think what a lot of people have to come to understand is there's a difference between being aggressive and being assertive. Mm-hmm. And he was right there at the line. He was getting pretty close to the line, especially when he said, well, you wanted emotion? Now you got...
Yeah, that was a little bit flippant.
Yes.
But, it happens. It's an argument. You can't expect people to argue like this is some sort of on-stage intellectual debate. Yes. There is going to be emotion involved. Yes. Some things are going to be said. You just have to know where to draw the line. Yes. And I don't think that he stepped outside of bounds. Yes. In the way that he addressed it.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, he got pretty doggone close to it. But I think he was in that within that okay realm. Just he was real close to it though. But like I was about to say, it's a difference between being aggressive and to be assertive. And I think he was in that assertive realm. I really do.
For you, the high end of the assertive spectrum.
He was right there.
All right, guys. Well, we're not gonna take up too much more time with this. Yes. We want you to share your opinions on these two couples. Well, three actually. Let's talk about Kristen and Mitch, because they're fun to talk about. Yeah,
and we're about to do some sidebars. So
yeah, just like, share, comment, subscribe, guys, and we'll be back.
Bye.